Hi loves, how are you? I hope that you are doing well. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Nina or Sinfulpluto, and if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks for joining us here again today. And I hope that you enjoy your stay here and you are able to receive a message that you need. So today we're going to be talking about the full moon in Aries that is coming up on October 13th. I believe it's on a Sunday. So I'm very excited. Full moons are all about, excuse me, letting go of things. It's all about release because with the full moon, that is energy that has accumulated over time. And so this is a really great time to just let go of anything that you've been clinging on to release any sort of energy that you've been holding on to, any energy that has been clinging on to you. It's a good time to really clean, to do any sort of decluttering that you need to do. It's a really great time for that. Full moons are always a wonderful time to just clear up your space, to clear up any sort of clutter that you have, whether it's physically, energetically, emotionally, mentally. It's just it's a really great time to reset everything. So that by the time that the new moon comes around, we have all of this room, we have all of the space to manifest and bring in new energy, bring in new wonderful things, So I'm very excited. I actually wrote down a few things, a few notes that I wanted to talk about for this full moon. I did a little bit of research about how this full moon is going to affect us, what this full moon is going to be like. So we have three major aspects that are happening with this full moon. I found this on astrologyking.com. I really like looking up things like astrology things on that website because I feel like it's very relatable and very accurate. So yes, so we have the full moon, right? Okay, so we have three major aspects. The first one here is that the moon is going to be in a square aspect, so a 90 degree angle with Pluto. And Pluto is the planet of destruction, transformation, all that sort of stuff. If you're into astrology, you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to get too into the meanings of the planets. But so the moon is going to be squaring Pluto, which is a very powerful energy, and it's a square, which causes some friction, it causes some tension. And this is already not only is it kind of a tricky aspect, I guess you could say, or a little bit of a tense aspect because it's moon square Pluto, but it's the full moon in Aries, which is already very fiery. Full moons are usually, like I said, it's accumulation of energy, so everyone is already feeling a little bit on edge. So this is a little bit, of an aspect that causes a bit of tension, a little bit of friction. So what I have here is that this full moon in square aspect to Pluto can lead to compulsive and destructive behaviors because that's anything that rules with Pluto. Pluto's destruction, transformation. I already said this. But the full moon is our emotions getting the best of us and and making very impulsive and compulsive and destructive decisions, like I said. And this is usually because of the fact, these sort of behaviors are usually due to the fact that, a lot of our emotions that are, deeply repressed are being brought up to the surface, which, which can cause a little bit of pain, cause a little bit of tumult, a little bit of turmoil. And so this can come through, Astrology King said that this could come through as bigotry, racism, phobias, addictions, emotional power struggles, secrets are being revealed around this time, jealousy, guilt tripping, gaslighting. These are all possibilities that could come to fruition with this full moon square Pluto. Now, this isn't going to say that it's absolutely going to happen in your life, I don't want anyone to feel anxious or feel oh my god, this is going to be such a terrible full moon. No, I'm simply providing possibilities of what things could be, and it's up to you how you react to everything. It's up to you how you approach certain situations if it ever gets to that point. So that's just something that I want to put out there. That's just a little disclaimer. This isn't set in stone. The way that this affects people is going to be different for each and every individual. So please take that in mind. Take this with a grain of salt. This is all just possibilities. This isn't, set in stone, like I said. So that's one aspect. That's one major aspect that we're going to be having for the full moon. And then we have the full moon trining Jupiter. and Jupiter's in Sagittarius, full moon in Aries, of course, they're trining. So this is really great, you know, because it's going to help, I think, ease a little bit of the tension that comes with the full moon squaring Pluto. I feel like this full moon trine Jupiter is going to present us with opportunities to make the best out of our situation, to take advantage of certain situations in terms of, like, you know, making it better, or, you know, feeling a little bit more optimistic, feeling a little bit more opportunistic, if you will. And so I have here, this is all all about like optimism, open-mindedness, which allows us to be more conscious of our intense emotions, which is very much needed, especially with this moon square Pluto aspect going on here. So we're given the possibility to create a better reality throughout all of this tension, if that kind of makes sense. You know, luck is on our side, so to speak. And so we can turn any sort of difficulty that is presented with this moon square Pluto, and we can turn it into something better, into something more productive, into something a little bit more, I guess, lighthearted, if you will, with this moon trine Jupiter. So this, the moon trine Jupiter just kind of enables us to turn the moon square Pluto into a better opportunity for us to evolve and grow and things along that nature, and to like transform and to use it a little bit more productively, rather than the whole thing kind of just being destructive, you know? And then we have one last one, which is Jupiter semi-sextile to Pluto. And what Astrology King had is that, you know, this gives us an urge to make powerful changes. You know, there's a lot of changes, a lot of transformation going on. So it's all on brand with this full moon. And to changes, reform, and transformation, and take full advantage of the opportunities that come through with the moon trine Jupiter. And, you know, this is an opportunity for us to take advantage of any opportunities that we see, so that we can go into further success. Does that kind of make sense? Okay. So that's that for all of the transits. Again, also, I just want to say, I'm not an astrologer. I'm not certified in any of this. I just enjoy, you know, keeping up with transits. I enjoy, you know, I like looking into it, and I like practicing, or not practicing, but I like astrology as a hobby, but it's not like a practice of mine. I'm not certified in any of it, you know, so take what I say with a grain of salt. Please use your discernment, your critical thinking. Please do your own research, and not just take everything that I say as law, okay? Consult people who are actual astrologers, and, you know, all of that, okay? Like, don't just like mindlessly accept everything that I say. Do your own research. Put in your own work into it if you want further information. So, other than that, I wanted to talk about all the 12 signs, and talk about like what we need to work on releasing for this Aries full moon. Okay, so I'm going to go through all 12 signs. I'm going to start with Aries, and let's just get into it. If you want to, you can skip over to this timestamp that I'll have down below if you don't want to like watch the whole video, which I understand. It's fine. So let's just get into it. Okay, Aries. So let's get into your reading. Okay. So what should Aries be focusing on releasing with this Aries full moon? If you're an Aries rising, this is going to be hitting your first house of self, your physical body. That's all I can think of right now. But of the self and the physical body. So let's see what you need to be working on releasing. Also, for this video, you can apply this to your sun, moon, rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Actually, no. Let's do sun, moon, and rising, I think. Whatever. Choose what you want to watch. Choose whatever planets you want to watch for. Do what you want. Do what you will. This can apply to both tropical and sidereal, so whatever system you prefer to use, go for it. So let's get into it. Aries. What should Aries focus on releasing for this Aries full moon? I heard ego. Okay, so Justice Reversed came out. Okay. Ooh, and then Judgment. Tea. So Justice and Judgment reversed. So Justice is obviously the Libra card. We're in Libra season, right? So maybe some of you are dealing with the Libra at this time, or maybe you have Libra placements. You could also be, or did I say Judgment? Did I say Judgment reversed? I meant Judgment upright. It's not reversed. Anyways, so you could be dealing with a Libra, or maybe you have Libra placements in your own birth chart. Judgment is ruled by Mars, so very much your energy here. Judgment is definitely a sort of wake up call. In Justice reversed signifies not thinking of things long term. You know, this Judgment reversed is like a lack of objectivity, a lack of taking into consideration the long-term effects of like your actions. And with the Judgment card, it seems as though there's some sort of wake-up call that, you know, is being presented to you, or there's some sort of change that really has to take place, some sort of transformation that really has to take place, some sort of like transcendence, if you will. But it does feel like there's a lot of changes going on, which makes sense because you're at Aries, it's an Aries full moon. It makes sense as to why there are so many changes going on here. I feel like what's important for you to release is any sort of like unfairness. Like if you've been, you know, acting very unfair towards other people, or if you have been feeling very objective, if your emotions have been getting the best of you and you have been letting your heart rule your decisions, that is something to definitely release this week. I think it's important for you to definitely start thinking long-term rather than short-term, because I feel like the short-term thinking just isn't working for you, Aries. I know that you can be very impulsive and you can be like very caught up in the moment, and there's so many things that you want to do, and you know, you do all of these things at once and then you end up losing interest because you didn't create a plan. And so it's important for you to definitely start working on creating a plan, on releasing this idea, or on releasing this I guess action that you've been doing in terms of like doing everything impulsively, which obviously like it's kind of like in your nature almost to be impulsive. But if you take the time to strategize, if you take the time to think like the pros and cons of everything rather than just like jumping the gun, I feel like you would end up a lot more satisfied, I guess you could say. You'll end up a lot more fulfilled, and things I think start working out a lot more in your favor. And I feel like this Aries full moon is definitely like a judgment moment for you, and I feel like the universe is definitely watching you to see how you handle situations especially with other people, because this is Libra, right? The Justice card is Libra. So how you handle other people, how you approach other people, how you treat other people in certain situations, how you handle conflict, how you handle moments of injustice in your life. That sort of thing. So, yeah, I really do feel like if there's any sort of imbalance in your life, whatever that might be for you, it's definitely time to start balancing them out and reaching equilibrium again, because I feel like maybe someone is trying too hard to be in control of a situation, or someone is trying too hard, or not even trying, but someone is being way too passive in a situation. It's like it's very black and white with this card, with the Justice card. It's one extreme or the other, and balance has to be found. And objectivity has to be found. Like I said, if your emotions are getting the best of you, if you are making decisions through your heart rather than your mind, it's important that that is, you know, switched up so that you're leading a better sort of lifestyle, I guess you could say. I'm also kind of like drawn to the skeletons in like the coffins, and I kept on thinking of that phrase like skeletons in your closet. So if you have any sort of like skeletons in your closet, or you know, if there has been some sort of situation that was left that didn't necessarily have the proper outcome or the proper, I guess, karma, I guess you could say, that might come back. It feels like if some of you have been like haunted by the skeletons in your closet, it's definitely time to release that. If you have been feeling some sort of guilt, it's time to release that. If you have been feeling any sort of resentment towards a situation from your past, definitely time to release that, because I feel like it could be really affecting you physically in some way or another. I feel like it's important that, you know, you make sure that any sort of situation that didn't necessarily, any situation that was messy and any situation that, you know, had a bunch of loose ends, it's important to tie up those loose ends now so that you can move forward into, you know, into your future without having to worry about it anymore. You know, like I said, balancing out those scales. So that's what I have for you, Aries. Hope you enjoyed. Hope it resonates. Let me know if it does in the comments down below. You know what to do. Like the video, share, subscribe, that sort of thing. And if you want a personal reading with me to see how the full moon is going to affect you personally, you can always book a personal reading with me. The link will be down below. Okay, Taurus, let's get into your reading and see what you should focus on releasing for this Aries full moon. If you are a Taurus rising, the full moon is going to be hitting your 12th house of the subconscious, of hidden realms, secret enemies, what else? Asylums, the spiritual realm, things of that nature. So let's get into your reading. So what does Taurus need to release for this full moon? Taurus, sun, moon, rising. Your card came out. So we have the Empress reversed. Okay. And then we have Temperance reversed. You could be dealing with a Libra or another Taurus or a Sagittarius. There's something that has to do with, There's something that has to do with friends. Friends, partnerships, social groups, possibly 3 people that are involved, you and 2 other people, or whatever the case may be. There's 3 people involved in this. So it could have to do with like partying or overindulging in pleasures even. So if that's the case for you, some of you might need to reel back a little bit on the pleasure seeking, on like the physical pleasure seeking, because it's not doing you any favors. Okay. So we have the Empress reversed, and then we have Temperance reversed. Again, Libra, Taurus, Sagittarius energy. I feel like some of you aren't taking care of your needs. Whether it's emotional, spiritual, physical, you're not taking care of your needs, or your needs are not being met in some sort of way. The Empress reverse signifies, you know, someone's needs being neglected, someone being very submissive, someone being very passive. It can signify a delay in a creative project. It can signify people like really walking all over you, kind of. When I think of the Empress reversed, I think of, you know, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, I think of Daenerys in like the first few episodes of season 1. You know, she was obeying the orders of her brother. She didn't really have any sort of free will. She didn't have any sort of choice as to what she could or couldn't do. It was all based on what her brother wanted. And so that's what I think of when I think of the Empress reversed, is someone who is just like obeying orders mindlessly, you know, just quietly taking orders, being scared to stand their ground, being scared to create their own reality, to create their own life. So that could be something that you know, could be dealing with. And with the Empress reverse, like I said earlier, it can signify like a delay in a creative project or a delay in creativity. If some of you have been feeling very dull, or, you know, you haven't been doing anything to like release your inner child or express your inner child, if that makes sense, that could be also hindering you. I feel that with this Temperance card reversed, it just seems like there's a misalignment here. There could also be a lot of like impatience going on, a lack of patience for you, Taurus, that you need to work on being a little bit more patient, especially with yourself and with your own needs. I feel like it's important for you to really start meditating for this full moon, to take care of yourself, to nurture yourself, and to release any sort of doubts that you have in terms of like your self-worth, in terms of your self-esteem, self-confidence, your physical self, that sort of thing. I think it's important for you to take care of your needs and not continue to neglect yourself in whatever way that might be for you, and whatever way that might apply to you. If there's a mother figure in your life who just is very impatient with you and you guys just aren't in alignment and you guys just, you know, don't really get along. Release any sort of attachment that you have to them in the sense of like, you know, let go of any sort of expectations that you have of them. This to me means like, don't have high expectations, but also don't have low expectations. Like, just have absolutely no expectations as to what this person can provide for you, and just start providing for yourself. Especially if your needs just aren't being met. Start worrying about your own self rather than depending on other people to do it for you. This Empress reverse also to me signifies like a lack of experience. Not having a lot of experience in something. So think of like, for example, like a virgin. I don't mean like literally you could be that or whatever, but I'm saying like just there's a lack of experience. I feel like, and with the Temperance card reversed, this just talks about like a lot of impatience. And with the Empress, it's like you don't have a lot of experience in something or in some sort of field or whatever the case might be, but there's impatience here, and it's almost like there's this refusal or unwillingness or inability to learn what you need to learn because of the lack of patience. There's just like this childlike sort of energy of just not even childlike, but childish energy of like expecting everything to come to you. So if that's the case, then I think it's important that you work on releasing that sort of attitude, that, you know, behavior pattern, that thought pattern, and, you know, start putting in the work that you need to do if there's something that you want to pursue, especially like if it's a creative endeavor. I also feel like with the Empress reverse, this signifies someone who's really jealous for some reason. If you've been feeling jealous of other people, the Empress reverse and Temperance reverse to me just signifies how that if you want something that someone else has, that you have to work for it and you have to be in alignment with that. If you're just completely out of alignment and if you're just always, you know, focusing on what other people have and, you know, maybe even like shit talking them and talking badly about them behind their back because of your own ego and jealousy, that's something that is worth releasing for this full moon. If someone is like, if you're kind of like a frenemy towards someone, or if you secretly hate a friend of yours, stop being friends with them or change your mindset, because at the end of the day, you're not really serving yourself. You're not doing anything. You're not creating any sort of balance. You're not creating any sort of harmony. And I think something that is important for you this full moon is to create harmony, is to create a balanced lifestyle for yourself and for others around you too, but mostly for yourself. This could also be in the reverse, where maybe someone is being, you know, like secretly hating you on the sidelines, whether it's a friend or not. But, you know, if that's the case, there's a need to balance things out and there's a need to realign. With this Temperance card is that, because this is saying that the spiritual alignment is missing here. It could be that you're focusing too much on the physical and not enough on the spiritual, and that's something that you should be working on. Letting go of the ego, letting go of the attachment towards the physical, which I know for you, Taurus, is like a challenge. But it's still very possible. So I think that's something that is worth looking into for this full moon in Aries. Work on releasing ego, on like material attachment or attachment to like status or wealth or power, influence, public recognition. I think I already said money, but anything that, you know, that perhaps someone else has that you don't, you know, rather than being jealous of them, work towards that. Because if you're just sitting there talking, you're wasting your time, and that's less time for you to actually put the work in to do something that you want, you know? So that's what I have for you, Taurus. Let's move on to Gemini. Okay, Gemini, let's get right into what you should be releasing for this full moon. If you're a Gemini rising, this full moon is going to be hitting your 11th house, I believe. So that's the house of like wish fulfillment, friends, acquaintances, the masses, the collective, some other things. I think it's charity as well. I don't remember. But anyways, if you're interested in doing my research, please go ahead and do so. But let's get into it. So what should Gemini focus on releasing? What should Gemini release for this full moon? What is something that Gemini needs to release this full moon in Aries? All right, we have the King of Cups And we have the Two of Wands. Interesting. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Eight of Swords reversed. I've been pulling this card a lot for mutable signs. The Eight of Swords, and I think Judgment as well. I've been pulling this card a lot. So I don't know what's going on with like mutable signs, but I feel like there's something going on where there has to be a sense of liberation and freedom. So we have the King of Cups and the Two of Wands. Some of you might need to release some sort of partnership that you have towards a water sign, or someone who is just kind of sensitive, who is emotional, who is diplomatic. Nurturing, but not in the sense that they're overly, like, emotional. The King of Cups to me is like, the King of Cups to me is like the provider of the family, you know. He has a lot of love for his family, this King of Cups, but he's not necessarily the one to be so overt about it. He's not going to be the type to, like, smother you with, like, hugs and kisses. Like, he loves you, but it's almost like at a distance. So some of you might need to release someone who is a water sign that you have like a business partnership with this Two of Wands. With this Two of Wands, this signifies like there's something that you have in mind, right? I feel like some of you need to release fear and anxiety in terms of taking a risk. The Two of Wands to me is like, you see all of these other people pursuing their passions. You see them flying free. You see them doing all of these wonderful things, and you know, they're, you know, pursuing their aspirations or whatever. But my nose is so itchy. I'm so sorry. But you're not taking any action to live out your dream, to live out your aspirations. It's just like you're watching all of these other people in envy. And you're like, wow, I really wish I could do that. But at the same time, you're not even doing anything to get to that point. So if you have been feeling scared of taking a risk in terms of your dream or of a wish or an aspiration, I feel like that is definitely something that you need to work on freeing yourself from and liberating yourself from. It's time for you to allow yourself to take a risk, to take that leap of faith, and to just, you know, go with the flow. The King of Cups tells me that it's important for you to remain very emotionally stable. Don't let your emotions or even your thoughts get the best of you. It's important. It's just important that you are at a level of emotional maturity. Let go of any sort of like emotionally immature habits or behavioral patterns or even thought patterns, because that's just not going to serve you in any sort of way. Pour out your cup of anything that you just don't need anymore. Like, let go of any sort of emotions that you've just been clinging on to. And the reason why I say that is because he's literally pouring all of this cup. He's pouring water out of his cup and it's going into the ocean. Like, free yourself of certain emotions or like resentments or something that has to do with your heart. If there's something that you're holding on to and that you just keep on, you know, in this cup and you keep on sipping and sipping and sipping, and kind of like reinforcing whatever it is that you're just holding on to or feeling, I think it's time to just like let go of that. Let go of those emotions, release those emotions. I feel like some of you, if you've been like if you have been building up all of your emotions and not releasing them in a healthy way, this Aries full moon is a really great time to do that, to release any sort of emotions that you don't want to deal with, or just acknowledge and release. Let go of pain, of old wounds, of old traumas, of old experiences, of old resentments, of old heartbreak. Let go of anything that just isn't serving you. Like, pour that all out of your cup so that you can fill up your cup with things that actually serve you, with things that actually do you a service. Because right now, like, if you're just holding on to this thing, onto all of these emotions for basically no reason, you're doing yourself a disservice. So that's something worth looking into, okay? So take a risk for sure. Yeah, and then at the bottom of the deck, I literally have the Eight of Swords, or the Eight of Cups reversed. Earlier, we had the Eight of Swords reversed, and then now we have the Eight of Cups. So the number 8 could be very significant to you at this time. Eight of Cups reversed. If there's something that you're not letting go of, if there's something that you just can't find yourself walking away from, this is the perfect opportunity to reflect on why you can't walk away from this, or why you refuse to walk away from this, and find a way to release any sort of expectations or emotions that you have in relation to this thing, and so that you can eventually walk away and start a new life for yourself and do something different, to no longer linger or dwell in old emotions or in old situations. Like, it's time to move on. It's time to move forward. We don't have time to waste, you know? So that is what I have for you, Gemini. If you liked it or if it resonates, let me know in the comments down below. Like the video, share, subscribe. If you want to book a personal reading with me to get further insight into how this full moon is personally going to affect you, you can go to sinfulpluto.com, which is in the link below if you just want to click on that. So that's what I have for you, Gemini. Bye. Hey, Cancer, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Let's just get into what you should be releasing for this Aries full moon. If you're Cancer rising, this full moon is going to be hitting your 10th house, I believe, which is the house of, like, public recognition, career, I'm pretty sure, like, status. I always forget. I literally, in my mind, like, went completely blank as to what the 10th house means. But it's like, it's basically like your career, like public recognition, how the world views you, your reputation. Yeah. Okay. So let's get into it. So what should Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, maybe even Venus and Jupiter, what should they be releasing this Aries full moon? Wow, I just realized that this Aries full moon is going to be squaring my Cancer placements. Holy shit, that's so funny. Why did it just hit me that that was going to happen? Anyways. Okay, what does Cancer need to release this Aries full moon? Thank you. Ooh, Queen of Pentacles reversed. And then we have the World. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Eight of Pentacles. And under that, the Three of Wands reversed. I'm going to mainly focus on these two, but those other cards are interesting. So, Cancer, my lovelies, my beautiful babies. It's time for you to stop depending on other people. It's time for you to stop thinking that you can't do anything on your own and that you always have to have the help of other people. It's time for you to release this thought that you can't do anything on your own, that you have to absolutely have someone help you all of the time. You know, I feel like maybe some of you were conditioned to believe that you can't do anything on your own and that other people always have to help you and that other people have to do things for you because you can never just do it right. It's time to recondition yourself to believe that you are able to do things on your own, that you can be independent, that you don't need to rely so much on other people. If you have codependent tendencies, this is the time to start releasing that. This is the time to assert your own independence, to start doing things on your own, to start nurturing yourself. How can you mother yourself? It's time to grow up rather than being coddled or treated like a baby, because you're not a baby. Most of us are grown adults now. Right? At least my demographic is, the majority of my demographic is 18 and up. So it's time to grow up, my love. It is absolutely time to grow up. You know, it's the end of an era. It's the end of a cycle. With the Queen of Pentacles reversed, this signifies someone who, like I said, codependent. They don't think that they can do anything on their own. Low self-worth, low self-esteem. They care so much. They care too much about what other people think of them, right? If you're Cancer rising, I can understand this, right? Because you have Aries in the 10th house, and this is what we're talking about. Maybe you care a lot about what other people think of you and how people view you. Maybe you care a lot about you know, just your reputation in general, your status, your how much recognition you're receiving. And maybe some of you are stopping yourselves from doing certain things because you don't want to be viewed a certain way. That is something to work on with this Aries full moon. It's time to not place so much value on other people's opinions of you, because at the end of the day, it's literally only your opinion is what matters at the end of the day, honestly. The opinions of others don't matter, and they never will matter, because it's your life. It is your path, your destiny, your fate, whatever you want to call it. That has nothing to do with them. It never has, and it never will. And so with this Queen of Pentacles, if you're just staring in the mirror and thinking, oh, I'm not pretty enough to do this, or I'm not good enough to do this, or there's someone out there who is better at this, you are going to miss out on a lot of opportunities with that mindset, and you are going to miss out on a lot of growth with that mindset. Because if you think that you are not worthy of an opportunity, whatever that opportunity might be for you, then someone will absolutely fill that spot for you. If you're not going to fill the spot, the universe will fill it for someone else, you know? So it's definitely time to work on building self-worth, self-esteem. It's a time to release this idea of worthlessness or helplessness or powerlessness, or the idea that the opinions of other people matter, because they don't. They really don't, I promise you. It's a lot easier to just say that, and it's a lot easier in theory than it is in practice, but it's still very possible to rewire yourself. My nose is so itchy, I'm so sorry. It's easier to rewire yourself. Or it's easier to say that you need to rewire yourself than to actually go through with it. So, Cancer, I think it's important for you to let this go. The world is literally all about the end of a chapter. This is completion of a cycle. Like, you had your time to feel this way. You had your time to do this. To do all of this Queen of Pentacles reversed energy, but now it's time to let go and to move on and to do something greater for yourself and to change your ways. Maybe some of you need to release someone who was like this. If it's not your own energy, if it's someone else, possibly an earth sign, it's time to let this person go. If there is a friend or a partner that you have, or like a romantic interest that you have, who is way too dependent on you and kind of like suffocates you, and because they just want attention all of the time, and they're so needy and they're so clingy to the point that you can't do anything on your own, it's time to let go of that person. And they need to learn how to be their own person. They need to find their own identity, again, that is outside of a relationship, or outside of a certain friendship, or outside of a job, or whatever the case might be. They need to find themselves. And if they haven't been putting in the effort to do so, then why should you do the work for them? It's not up to you to do the work for them. So that is what I have for you, Cancer. I hope it resonates. If it does, let me know in the comments down below. Hit the share button. Hit the big thumbs. Give me a big thumbs up if you like the video. Share with your friends, family, loved ones. Subscribe. Hit the bell notification to know when I upload my videos. If you want to book a personal reading to get further insight into how this full moon will affect you, you can go to Sinfulpluto.com. The link is down below if you just want to go there. And that is it, my loves. I will talk to you soon, okay? Hey, Leo. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Let's get into what you need to be releasing for this full moon, yeah? If you're Leo rising, I believe that the Aries full moon will be hitting your 9th house. Is it your 9th house? Aquarius, Pisces. Yes, your 9th house. Okay. So, Leo. Let's see what is in store for you. What does Leo need to release for this Aries full moon. What does Leo need to release for this Aries full moon? What does Leo need to release for this Aries full moon? See, it seems that you don't want to talk, Leo. You're awfully quiet. Okay. 2 cards. We have the Three of Wands, or the Four of Wands, sorry. And then the Three of Wands reversed. A lot of fire energy for you, Leo. Excuse me. I needed a sip of water. This is your reminder to drink water if you are also thirsty. Okay. Leo, if you have been feeling stuck in your home environment or in your overall environment, in your daily environment, it's time for change. The Four of Wands talks about your immediate environment. It talks about the home. It talks about even marriage. It talks about relationships. And the Three of Wands reversed signifies limitation, restriction, overlooking certain details, not being quick enough to jump on the boat, if that makes sense. Leo, if you feel restricted in your home area or in your hometown or in your environment, there has to be some sort of change that needs to take place with that environment. If you feel restricted, if you need to move out, if you need to leave some sort of situation that is in relation to the home or the family or marriage, this Aries full moon will definitely help you. The Three of Wands is so fitting because if you're a Leo rising, the Aries full moon is going to be hitting your 9th house of long distance travels, philosophy, religion, spirituality, and some other things, but I can't think of them right now. So, Three of Wands reverse is telling me that you need to go out and explore. You need to do things. You need to get outside of your comfort zone. Because with the Four of Wands, that is your comfort zone. That is the thing that you are so familiar with. And it's restricting you rather than promoting any sort of growth for you. So, what is needed is change. A change in environment, a change in scenery, a change in something that has to do with your everyday life, because it seems as though you feel stuck in your everyday routines or you feel limited. There's some sort of limitation or restriction, and you need freedom, you need liberation, you need to be able to fly free. You need to be able to absolutely fly free. You need to be on your own. You need to be independent. You need to be doing your own thing right now. And I feel like that's what this Aries full moon is going to promote for you. Is this freedom, this liberation, the need to do more, to get out of the home, to get out of your comfort zone. And even if it's not literally like going across the country or going to a whole different continent, even if it's just taking a short trip around town, changing up your routine in some sort of way, or, changing up, the streets that you drive or the roads that you drive. Even if it's just, it means taking a different route home. There has to be a change in your routine. Does that make sense? You need to break free from from familiarity, because you've gotten too used to it. So you have to move on and do something different. This could be moving homes, changing homes, right? Finding another place to live. Taking a vacation somewhere that is completely different. Whatever the case may be, you need to let go of the comfort zone. Okay? So, I know that was kind of quick for you, Leo, but I got straight to the point with that one. There wasn't much to be said there. Okay? So, if it resonates, let me know. If it resonates, let me know in the comments down below. Hit the bell notification to know when I upload my videos. Like the video, share, subscribe. If you want a personal reading to see how this full moon is going to impact you, or, if you want further information or further insight into how you are personally impacted, you can go to sinfulpluto.com and book a reading with me. So, yeah. Hey Virgo, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Let's get into what you need to be releasing for this Aries full moon. If you're a Virgo rising, this full moon is going to be in your 8th house of other people's money, of debt, of, I think, taxes, of inheritance. I think, like, hidden things, although I don't remember if that was. But anyways, let's get into it, darling. Let's get into this. What does Virgo need to work on releasing for this full moon? What does Virgo need to release this full moon in Aries? What does Virgo need to release for this full moon in Aries? Two cards came out. So we have the Empress and the Two of Swords reversed. You could be dealing with a Taurus or a Libra with this Empress card. Maybe you're in some sort of like indecision in relation to a Libra or a Taurus in your life. Or maybe in denial about a Libra and Taurus in your life. The Two of Swords, like I said, it signifies the denial, indecision, not wanting to make a decision, trying to avoid a situation, trying to remain ignorant to something. Okay. Similar to Leo, some of you might feel stuck in some sort of situation, or you might feel like you're being, if some of you are being passive, I feel like some of you might be feeling very passive, or you're being passive right now. Virgo, if you're being passive, it's time to start taking action rather than letting other people make decisions for you, or, you know, like just ignoring the situation. If you're trying to like do the whole ignorance is bliss thing, that has to stop, that has to end. It's time for you to, you know, take action to do something different. It's time for you to make a decision. Absolutely. If you're in denial about something, you have to face the reality of a situation, and rather than just like trying to sit in your own delusions or trying to convince yourself that the reality is one way when it's truly another. Not letting yourself create this sort of illusion that reality is one way when it's completely different. It's time to create a new reality. It's time to create a new life with this Empress card. We have the Hanged Man, which is you being very passive, and then we have Judgment. I swear to you, like, this card has been coming up a lot for mutable signs. I think it came up a lot for the new moon in Libra. But we have the Hanged Man. You could be dealing with a Pisces, but this is illusions. This is the Pisces card. This is the Neptune card. This is someone trying to be victim. This is someone being a martyr. This is someone who needs a new perspective. You need a new perspective. You need spiritual enlightenment. You need something different. You need to create a better reality for yourself. You need a new reality. You need to stop expecting other people to feed you information or to just like enable you. It's time to do things on your own. It's time to be independent. It's time to be the creator of your own reality rather than just like letting other people fight the fight for you. Yeah, you need a new perspective. You need something different in your life. There's some sort of sacrifice that you might need to make. There's either Yeah, I think it's okay. Some of you just need to make some sort of sacrifice, and I think that sacrifice has to do with the fact that you just have to start being aware If you're in, like I said, if you're in denial about something, now is the time to no longer be in denial. You have to sacrifice your ignorance and your denial in order to move on from the situation, because this is definitely a wake-up call. You have to sacrifice your ignorance. You have to take off the blindfolds, because you can't be blindfolded forever. Yeah, this is judgment. Wake-up call. If you're being inconsistent, very on and off or hot and cold about a sort of situation, that definitely has to change. You have to start something new. You need to gain a new perspective in something. You need to do things differently. You need to create a new path. And you need to take care of yourself. Maybe some of you need to nurture yourself, take better care of your needs. Maybe some of you are in denial about taking care of yourself. Maybe you're saying like, oh, I really do take care of myself, when in reality you don't. I feel like some of you are just trying to hide from something. What are you trying to hide from, though? Like, I don't get it. Some of you need to start creating more. This is the Empress is the birth of something new. So you need to start like creating more, being more creative, getting in touch with your creative side. This is also like nurturing energy, self-worth, self-confidence. Yeah, there's something that you need to stop being in denial of and stop being so passive. You need to sacrifice your ignorance and start taking action rather than trying to remain under this illusion or delusion of something. Things can no longer be handed to you if you have been expecting them to. It's time to create for yourself and to take action for your own self, rather than just being rather than just expecting the water to be fed to you. Yeah, this is definitely some sort of wake-up call. Anyways, that's what I have for you, Virgo. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it resonates. If it does, let me know in the comments down below. Give the video a big thumbs up. Share it with your friends, family, loved ones. Subscribe. And if you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at sinfulpluto.com. And if you want to find me on social media, you can do so on Twitter and Instagram at Sinfulpluto. Okay? Bye. Hey Libra, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Let's get into what you need to focus on releasing for this Aries full moon. If you're a Libra rising, then this full moon is going to be in your 7th house of partnerships, relationships, contracts, the courts, things of that nature. So let's get into it. So what does Libra need to work on releasing this full moon? If you've been inconsistent in your relationships, that's something that needs to be worked on this week. What does Libra need to work on releasing this Aries full moon? Aries need to release this Aries full moon? Or what does Libra need to release this Aries full moon? I said Aries, my bad. What does Libra need to release with this Aries full moon on October 13th? What does Aries need to release? I keep on saying Aries, I'm so sorry. What does Libra need to release this full moon? What does Libra need to release, honey? What does Libra need to release with this full moon? Thank you. Okay. 10 of Pentacles reversed. Okay, so this can refer to a few things. 10 of Pentacles reversed. This can talk about someone placing too much value on their reputation, placing too much value on money, on status, on influence, on power, on physical things, on material things. This is this Ten of Pentacles reversed signifies someone staying in an unstable situation because of the money that they can get out of it, or because of the reputation that they gained from it, or the wealth, or the power, the influence, whatever the case might be. This is someone who is like holding on to a situation, despite things being unfavorable to them, because they're gaining something physically, if that makes sense. So if this is you, like for example, if you're staying in a relationship that you're not even happy in, but you're staying because this person gives you a lot of physical things, gives you a lot of nice things, because they're always, you know, shopping with you or giving you a lot of money, or because, you know, people, or because maybe you're staying in this relationship because it gives you a sense of some sort of status or reputation, where people are like talking about you, or saying like, wow, I wish I was this person because this person is so rich, and you know, they're so acclaimed, or whatever the fact is, or whatever the case might be. If this is you, that is something that you definitely need to be releasing this week, or with this Aries full moon. The Knight of Swords reversed talks about someone blindly going into something, and not taking into consideration the long-term effects of this, not taking into consideration the pros and cons. This is just someone rushing into something. If you're rushing into a relationship thinking that this person is going to provide for you, or, you know, like just rushing into a relationship without actually getting to know this person, it's definitely favorable. It would be favorable to you not to rush into this relationship, not to rush into any sort of thing, any sort of contract, any sort of partnership. Don't rush into anything that you have not weighed the pros and cons over, that you have not actually thought through, okay? Don't think of things just in the terms of like how they can benefit you physically or materially. Think of them how they will affect you emotionally, spiritually, mentally, because it's not just material things that we have to value or that we should value. This Ten of Pentacles reverse is telling me that if you're rushing into like a relationship, or if you're in a relationship that, you know, from jump that you know for a fact that was just rushed into, and you know the foundation is kind of faulty, and the foundation is just, you know, it's unstable because you didn't get to know each other in a timely manner. The Seven of Swords. The Aries full moon is a really great opportunity to kind of detach yourself a little bit, to let go of the situation, to think things through, to release a relationship that you're not happy in, and that you realized very quickly that you're not happy in. To release any sort of situation that you got into just for the money, or the fame, or the power, or the influence, or the reputation, and doing something differently for yourself. Honestly. It's time to do things differently. It's time to think things through, to strategize. And even though you might have good intentions, it's just not it. It's time to actually think it through, okay? And not just follow your impulses, okay? Definitely don't just follow your impulses. Take things one step at a time. You know, build from the ground up. You don't build from the top down. You build from bottom up. So you have to work on building a solid foundation, a stable foundation, before you can even focus on what is going to happen at the top, you know? So that's something worth noting for you, okay? Be very careful of like your words. If you have been having like a bad attitude towards people with this Knight of Swords, if you've been like picking arguments that, you know, you didn't really think through, but you just did it because you wanted to like pester people, that's definitely something worth releasing. Definitely something worth letting go. Because I think your words hurt a lot more than you might think. And I think it's important to pick and choose your battles very, very wisely. And make sure that you are putting your energy into the right things rather than just putting it into anything. Be very mindful of the things that you put your energy into, because I feel like that could be a big theme for you with this Aries full moon, Libra. I think that is all that I have for you. For some of you, with the Knight of Swords and the Ten of Pentacles reversed, if you're thinking about like moving or like buying a home or like renting a home or something, think that through. Make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into, that you know exactly what is going on, that you know all of the information, that you're not missing out on any sort of important details. Okay, make sure that you're very aware of what you're getting yourself into. Okay, make sure that you're not just, you know, you see the house or the apartment and you think, like, wow, this is the perfect house, like I need to have this house, and then you sign all of these contracts or leases or whatever without knowing or without reading the contract, without reading between the lines, without reading the fine print. It's very important that you read the fine print this week, okay? Make sure that other people aren't trying to take advantage of you. Make sure that you're asking questions. Make sure that you're very aware of what you are getting yourself into, okay? Because the Ten of Pentacles, that can signify the home. So that is something worth noting for you, Libra. But that's all that I have for you. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if it resonates with you. Let me know in the comments down below. Hit the give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Can I talk? Share with your friends, family, loved ones. Subscribe. Hit the bell notification to know when I upload my videos. If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at Sinfulpluto.com. If you want to find me on social media, you can do so on Twitter and Instagram at Sinfulpluto. So, yeah. Okay. Bye, Libra. Hey, Scorpio. How are you? Hope you are doing well. So let's get into what you should be focusing on releasing with this Aries full moon. If you are a Scorpio rising, this full moon is going to be hitting your 6th house of job, work, career, or not career, but like daily routines, your work, your everyday jobs, your habits, I'm pretty sure. I think it's your habits. Yeah, like everyday routines of health. What else? I forget. I think that's all I can think of right now. But all of those things are, you know, 6th house things. So let's get into it, my loves. Okay, let's see. So what does Scorpio need to release with this Aries full moon? What does Aries need to release with this Aries? What does Scorpio need to release with this Aries full moon? My gosh. What does Scorpio need to release this Aries full moon? What does Scorpio need to release for this Aries full moon? Okay, so we have the Three of Cups reversed, and the Justice card reversed, and then at the bottom of the deck is the Two of Swords reversed, and then under that is the Wheel of Fortune reversed. Okay, T. If there are any friendships that are just really superficial, or, you know, any sort of relationships that you have with people that are just really superficial, kind of fake, or they just don't scratch beneath the surface, that is definitely something worth releasing. If there's some sort of conflict that you have with like other women or like feminine figures in your life, I feel like that's something worth releasing. There's some sort of like issue, whether it's legal or some sort of like injustice going on between you or 3 other people, or injustice going on between you and like a social group, that has to be worked out. That has to be balanced out. That has to be, I wonder if this is like coworkers. I wonder if for some of you, like the lines have been blurred between friend and coworker, and so now things are just like a little bit muddy, and there's some sort of injustice going on here with the Justice card reversed. I just feel like this is like enemy, like secret enemy, or I don't know, like shit talk. Like this is gossip. Like Three of Cups reversed is gossip. If some of you are gossiping about someone or talking badly about someone, like being very unfair towards someone, treating them badly, that's something that you need to let go of. That's something that you need to release. If there's some sort of conflict that is taking place in the workplace, that definitely has to be resolved. If you're taking revenge out on someone because of something petty that they did, it's not worth it. I promise you, Scorpio. I promise it's not worth it. This is gossiping. This is just like talking badly about someone. And justice is like you're not doing it for the right reasons. This is unfair. It's not fair at all. It's not objective. I feel like your emotions are way too involved in this. Like this is emotionally based, it feels like. It's very subjective. Some of you are like trying to get revenge on someone, like I said, or if you're like just gossiping about someone who's in your friend group and like maybe secretly hating on them or something. That definitely needs to stop. And if you're like in denial over that fact, and if you're saying like, no, I'm not talking badly about them, da 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 da, like trying to rationalize your actions, stop. That definitely has to be worked on with this Aries full moon, because it feels very fake, it feels very superficial, which just isn't your vibe, Scorpio. It could be that other people are gossiping about you, and it's up to you to just take the high road, honestly. Because they'll get their karma one way or another. If someone is talking badly about you and it's not true, they'll get their karma. You know, you don't have to worry about anything. You know, you don't have to worry about trying to speed up anything because they'll get their karma one way or another. You don't have to worry about that. Like, the universe has got your back. Like, if you did nothing wrong, and if this person just keeps on talking badly about you for whatever reason, if they just keep on gossiping about you, they'll get their just desserts. So you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to try to speed up the process. Like, the universe has got it. Like, the universe took note of it. And it'll do what it has to do. Maybe it's not in the way that you want or in the speed that you would like it to happen, but it's going to happen. It will happen. Karma just works that way, you know? And you're just gonna have to be satisfied with the karma that they do receive, you know? If some of you are like overindulging in physical pleasures, whatever that might be, whether it's like drinking a lot, eating a lot, buying, like recklessly purchasing anything, that definitely has to be balanced out. Justice reverse tells me that you need to start thinking in the long term rather than the short term, especially in terms of spending recklessly, for example. Okay, you need to think the long-term consequences of spending recklessly, or with associating with the wrong people, or with partying all of the time. Three of Cups reverse, partying all of the time, socializing all of the time, not giving yourself a break to just be on your own and do your own thing. Excuse me. Like, it's just time to leave the party, dude. Because it feels like the same old routine. It feels like the same old thing all over again. And I feel like there's too much emphasis on having fun or on partying or like avoiding responsibilities. And that is definitely going to bite you in the butt if you haven't been balancing out your responsibilities and having fun. Because it's definitely time to work on being responsible, doing your own thing, to work on being an adult. You know, we have to do it. Eventually we have to grow up. So I feel like that's kind of what this is saying to you, is that it's time to grow up. You can't continue trying to be in denial or, you know, try to do the whole ignorance is bliss thing. At one point or another, you're going to have to face the reality of a situation, and the reality is that you need to have a plan, you need to be more responsible, you need to balance out the scales between responsibility and work versus fun and socializing and partying. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that is all that I have for you, Scorpio. I hope that this resonates. If it does, let me know in the comments down below. Like the video if you desire. Share with your friends, family, loved ones. Subscribe and hit the bell notification to know when I upload my videos. If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at Sinfulpluto.com. And if you want to find me on social media, you can do so on Twitter and Instagram at Sinfulpluto. Okay? Okay. So, I will talk to you later. Hey Sagittarius, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Let's get right into this reading for you, okay? So let's see. What does Sagittarius need to release for this full moon in Aries? So if you're Sagittarius rising, this full moon is going to be hitting your 5th house of pleasures, gambling, children, hobbies, sports, creativity, casual dating, sex, sexual pleasures. I think I already said that. Anything that gives you pleasure. I think that's it. So let's get into what you need to focus on releasing, Sagittarius. Okay. What does Sagittarius need to be releasing right now? What does Sagittarius need to release for this Aries full moon? What does Sagittarius need to release for this full moon? What does Sagittarius need to release for this Aries full moon? What does Sagittarius need to release for this Aries full moon? Sagittarius need to release for this Aries full moon. Finally. We got two cards that fell out. Bottom of the deck is the Three of Pentacles. So we have the Queen of Pentacles and the Empress. What the heck? And then we have the Three of Pentacles. I don't know if this is just one person or if it's actually a third-party situation here. Sagittarius, are you in a third-party situation? This is very interesting. Well, if you are in a third-party situation, release that. Choose somebody or choose nobody. Okay? If this isn't for you, if this isn't a third-party situation, if you're not just talking to two people at once, although it very much seems like it. Maybe there's a mother figure that you need to release with this Queen of Pentacles and the Empress, because this is very similar energy. Excuse me. Maybe there's a mother figure, like I said. This is creativity. This is like physical abundance. This is... The High Priestess was at the bottom, or at the top. The High Priestess, this is secrets. Are you being secretive, dude? Some of you are really being non-committal. Okay, for some of you, this is a third-party situation that you need to let go of. But I'm gonna reshuffle because I don't see how else this could be. Because the Queen of Pentacles, this is someone nurturing. This is someone reliant, like someone that you can depend on. Like, this is all just people. Some of you maybe need to release an Earth sign or a Libra or a Taurus from your life, but I don't see how else. Let's reshuffle for you, Sagittarius. What does Sagittarius need to release this full moon? That was way too many cards. What does Sagittarius need to release this Aries full moon? Again. So some of you might be using dating. I'm thinking. Some of you might be using dating or casual sex as a means of distraction, and some of you need to start focusing a lot more. Some of you are getting way too distracted by like physical pleasures or something. And you need to start moving forward. You need to start being independent. You need to start doing your own thing. Maybe some of you need to release relying on partnership or like teamwork or something, or collaboration. Some of you need to move forward. You need to be independent. You need to go your own way. You need to stand your ground and not getting distracted by other people or by other situations or things. It's time to focus on you and only you. Like, focus on your own needs right now, not on like what other people want or whatever the case may be. Like, if you're getting distracted using sex as a distraction, this is definitely a reminder for you to release that and to start working on your own self, to start working on your own goals, not letting other people influence you. If there are mother figures in your life, because I'm still keeping in mind that Empress and that Queen of Pentacles. If there's a mother figure in your life, or an earth sign, or a Libra in your life who is trying to influence your decisions, who is, very caring and nurturing, but they're being a little bit overbearing as to what decisions you need to make, you need to assert your independence. I feel like you just need to, like, kind of separate from the group a little bit. You need to separate from the group. Like, for example, if this is a social group, and, like, if you and these other people just aren't on the same wavelength and you need to be doing your own thing, then do your own thing. You have to keep your own goals in mind. Like, it's kind of time for you to just focus on what is best for you in all aspects of that word, and to start thinking in the long term. We have the Sun. You could be dealing with a Leo. I wonder if some of you are, like, being a little bit like of attention whores. Or if you're just shining light on the wrong thing. But I really feel like things are just looking up for you. But I also feel like some of you are just being a little bit too childish right now. Like, you're being way too childish, and you need to grow up. You need to do more. Like, you need to be moving forward, and you're just, like, walking around, wandering, like, just talking to all of these people, making conversation, making small talk, and, like, right now just isn't the time to be doing that. Like, there are people distracting you, and you don't need distractions right now. I feel like, honestly, some of you are trying to, like, create this, like, second life almost, where you're, like, happy, and, you're doing all of these things, like, indulging in your own pleasures, whatever that might be for you, but it's, like, reckless, and it's overindulgence. And I feel like it's a way to avoid the reality of a situation, to avoid the path that you are on, or the path that you know that you need to follow. It seems like avoidance. It's just, you're avoiding something. And I feel like a lot of you need to, like, stop and face the reality of the situation, rather than, trying to just continuously push away and push away and push away. Stop pushing away your anxiety or pushing away your doubt, because even if you just, like, the longer you repress it or suppress the thing that you don't want to talk about or think about, like, the more it's going to continue pushing up for you to talk about it and for you to face it. It's time to just focus. It's time to focus, Sagittarius. It's definitely time for you to focus right now. And not focusing so much on distracting yourself with things that provide a temporary relief. Yep. I think that's all that I have for you, Sagittarius. If it resonates, let me know in the comments down below. Like the video. Share with your friends, family, loved ones. Subscribe. Hit the bell notification to know when I upload my videos. If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at Sinfulpluto.com. If you want to find me on social media, you can do so on Twitter and Instagram at Sinfulpluto. Okay? Bye, Sagittarius. Hey, Capricorn. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Let's get right into it, okay? Let's see what you need to be releasing for this Aries full moon. If you're Capricorn rising, this full moon is going to be in your 4th house of home, ancestry, your roots, your hometown. What else is the 4th house? Family. I think I already said that. That's all I can think of. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on the 4th house, but whatever. So, let's get into it. What does Capricorn need to release for this Aries full moon? What does Capricorn need to release for this Aries full moon? There's too many cards. What does Capricorn need to release for this Aries full moon? Okay, so we have the Ace of Swords reversed that popped out, and at the bottom of the deck we have the Nine of Wands reversed. Under that is the Four of Pentacles, and under that is the Three of Wands reversed, or the Three of Swords reversed, and then under that is Death reversed. So this to me seems like a resistance to change. Ace of Swords reversed talks about confusion, a lack of mental clarity, not knowing what to do, not knowing what path to follow. But with the Nine of Wands reversed, this is talking about how you're not really giving yourself an opportunity to grow because you're being like, you're feeling very paranoid. Is that the word? Paranoid. Some of you could be feeling really paranoid. If that's the case, that's something that you need to let go of. You need to release. If some of you are doubting which decision to make, you need to start developing self-assuredness. Self-assuredness. Is that the word? You need to start being more self-assured as to what decisions that you are making. You need to be a leader. I feel like some of you might be acting a little bit passive right now with this Ace of Swords reversed and not taking the lead, not forging your own path, either for fear that you're going to fail or for fear that someone is going to try to hurt you. With this Nine of Wands reversed, this is like paranoia, this is defensiveness, this is not letting your guard down, this is not allowing yourself to be vulnerable. I feel like you need to allow yourself to be vulnerable and let down your guard with this Aries full moon because you need to lead your life. I feel like by constricting and restricting yourself, you are preventing growth and you are preventing yourself from really moving forward and doing something meaningful for yourself. There's some sort of fogginess with this Ace of Swords reverse. You don't know how to feel about something. You don't know what to think. You don't know what to believe. In which case, you need to find a way to gather all of the facts of a situation so that you can look at things more objectively and forge your path from there. But I really do feel like some of you are just feeling very stubborn or just feeling really defensive. Especially with this Four of Pentacles, you feel very defensive, and I think this defensiveness has to do with change. I feel like some of you are scared of having your heart broken or being disappointed by the path that you choose for whatever reason that might be. And I think it's important for you to release this paranoia or the suspicion that, you are somehow going to be betrayed or that the decision that you make isn't going to be the right one. At one point or another, you're just going to have to take a risk. Not everything can be planned out, Capricorn. And I know that you like to, plan things out and have a strategy and be pragmatic, but sometimes you can't do that. You have to allow yourself to be vulnerable. And I feel like once you allow yourself to be vulnerable and let down your guard, you gain the mental clarity that you need with this Ace of Swords. And you take off the blinders and you're able to be free and do your own thing rather than being tied down. I think it's important for you to start fighting back in some sort of way. And rather than just being passive, rather than just staying in your box and kind of just taking all the blows, it's time for you to start taking action, to take initiative, to start doing something rather than just sitting back and watching everything just go down. It's time to let go of your ego. with this Four of Pentacles. It's time to let go of your ego. It's time to be, you have to be open to change. Because change is, you know, it's going to come, it's going to happen one way or another, but the level of easiness is definitely up to you. Whether you want it to be easy is up to you. Whether you're going to make it hard for yourself is up to you. But there's going to be change, and there has to be transformation. Some of you might be placing a little bit too much value or attachment to material things or anything that gives you a false sense of security. Like I said, some of you are staying in your own little circle, in your own comfort zone, because it gives you a sense of security. But in doing that, you end up missing out on opportunities. You end up missing out on things that could really help you in your growth because you just want to stay in your comfort zone, because you just want to stay in your little box. And it's time to get out of that box. That's really what it seems like for me, Capricorn. It's time to let go. Whatever it is that you're holding on for dear life, that you're holding on to for dear life, whatever thing that you have an iron grip on, it's time to let go of that. It's time to just release it. Release attachment, release ego. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. And with that vulnerability, you find clarity, which will help you move forward, which will help you with this new beginning, which will help with gaining a new perspective. Some of you need to find a new perspective rather than being stuck in an old way of viewing things. Some of you might be rigid on your beliefs or thought processes, and that has to change. So that is all that I have for you, Capricorn. I hope that this resonates. Let me know in the comments down below if it does. You know what to do. Like the video, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification. If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on Sinfulpluto.com. If you want to find me on social media, you can do so on Twitter and Instagram at Sinfulpluto. Okay? Okay. Bye. Hey Aquarius, how are you? Hope you're doing well. I'm not going to waste any time. Let's just get right into your reading, okay? So, if you are an Aquarius rising, this Aries full moon is going to be hitting your third house of communication, neighbors, short distance travel, learning, knowledge, I think siblings, cousins, aunts and uncles. I think that aunts and uncles one isn't it, but we will, whatever. Whatever, it's whatever. Okay. What else is the third house? Communication, thought processes. I think that's it. So, let us get into it, Aquarius. What do you need to be releasing? What do you need to release this Aries full moon? What does Aquarius need to release with this Aries full moon? It is coming on October 13th. What does Aries need to release? Or, I keep on saying that for some reason. What does Aquarius need to release? My goodness. What does Aquarius need to release for this Aries full moon? What does Aquarius need to release for this Aries full moon? Too many cards. What does Aquarius need to release for this Aries full moon? Okay, we're just going to have to take those cards. We have 3 cards that came out. We have the Star, which is your card. We have the Three of Swords, and then we have the Page of Swords. At the bottom of the deck is the Knight of Swords reversed. There's a lot of intellectual energy going on here, which makes sense because, you know, the full moon is hitting your third house of, you know, communication, learning, knowledge, that sort of thing. So we have a Star, right? This is your card. This is, you know, that's just your energy. There's some sort of heartbreak that you need to release with this Three of Swords. There's some sort of, there's some sort of heartbreak, sorrow, grief, despair, disappointment that you need to heal, that you need to work on healing. With this Page of Swords, this could be in relation to another air sign, maybe like a Gemini or something, but there's an air sign that that has hurt you in the past that, you know, there's some sort of closure that you need from this person. And with the Page of Swords reversed, or with the Page of Swords upright, this signifies someone young, kind of naive, but very charming and optimistic and like very clever. I feel like some of you guys need to stop rationalizing your feelings. I feel like that's what this Page of Swords is. Some of you are trying to rationalize your feelings or trying to invalidate your own feelings. And with the Star, this is saying that you just need to face the facts. You need to face the reality of the situation. You need to face your own feelings. You need to put the spotlight on yourself. Excuse me. So that you can finally heal and let go of the situation. You know, trying to rationalize or, you know, like analyze your feelings or whatever, like that isn't actually feeling your feelings. Just because you're aware that you're sad doesn't mean that you're actually allowing yourself to feel. There's a difference between saying, like, there's a difference between analyzing your emotions, and there's a difference between that versus actually going through with your emotions, you know, actually feeling them, actually experiencing them in real time. And I feel like some of you are kind of just like overthinking it. You're overthinking and you're overanalyzing and you're not letting yourself really heal. I feel like some of you just need to take a bath. You need to take a shower and just like let go of all of like these string of thoughts. I feel like there's just so much mental chaos that you just need to let go of. And stop trying to rationalize your own actions or the actions of others or the behaviors of others. But just sit with the energy. This doesn't necessarily mean dwell in it, but just sit with the energy. Acknowledge your feelings. Acknowledge your feelings, feel them, go through the experience, and move on. Like, it doesn't have to be that hard. You know, we make it hard on ourselves. I'm in Aquarius mood. We make it hard on ourselves by not wanting to talk about it, or by saying, oh, it's whatever, or by saying, I'll deal with it later. Well, when is later? Honestly, when is later? Because we know that we're going to continue avoiding it for as long as we can until it just bursts in front of our face and we are forced to deal with it. So what do you want, Aquarius? Do you just want to continue avoiding and avoiding and avoiding until it bursts and then you have to actually face it and clean up your own mess? Or do you want to healthily cope with the situation or with the heartbreak or whatever painful situation it was so that you can move forward and heal and grow and improve as a person and move on without having to worry that it's going to pop up in your face again? The Star tells me that you need to have hope in your healing, and you need to have hope, and you need to know that that the universe. You need to have hope that the universe is always by your side, and it's always conspiring in your favor. The Star is just healing, man. Like, you need to heal. You need to heal. You need to rejuvenate yourself. You need like that splash of water in your face. You need like rejuvenation. You need to be refreshed. You need to do something different. It's just like how she is doing in this card. Like, you just need to pour water over your head and just like let it wash over you. And just like wash away all of the pain. Like I said, some of you really need to like a good like shower or bath that's like very intentional, you know? And like use that bath with the intention of releasing all of the things that you don't want, or that all of the things that you need to release, all of the pain that you need to release, and letting it go down the drain and not, you know, revisiting it again, you know? Just allowing yourself to process and heal. Because I do feel like there was something that really hurt you. Something that really hurt your heart, but you're not trying to think about it. You're trying to remain optimistic, or, you know, you're just thinking and thinking and thinking, but you're not feeling. Which I know is a struggle for you, Aquarius, but it's very possible, because if I'm able to do it, you can do it. I swear to you. And we convince ourselves that we can't do it because it's not in our nature, or because we weren't raised this way, or whatever it is. We can do it. I promise you we can. Sure, it might be a little bit of a challenge. Absolutely. Because it's not something that we're used to doing. But there's nothing wrong in changing our ways, especially when it benefits us in the long run. So, I will leave you with that, Aquarius. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that it resonates with you. You already know what to do. Comment down below if this resonates. Give the video a big thumbs up. Share with your friends, family, loved ones. Subscribe. Hit the bell notification to know when I upload my videos. If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at Sinfulpluto.com. You can find me on social media on Twitter and Instagram at Sinfulpluto. So that's all that I have for you, Aquarius. Good luck, and I love you. Hey Pisces, how are you? I hope that you are doing well. Let's just go ahead and get right into it and see what you need to release for this Aries full moon. If you are a Pisces rising, this full moon is going to be hitting your second house of finances, income, possessions. I think it's like your sense of style. I don't remember. I think that's more of a Venus thing than it is a second house thing. Anyways, let's just get into it. So Pisces, what do you need to release with this Aries full moon? What does Pisces need to release with this Aries full moon? I saw a card flip over. Okay, so we have the Tower, sorry, and then we have the Ten of Swords reversed, and then we have the High Priestess reversed. So a lot of energy. Take a deep breath, Pisces. It's going to be okay, okay? Take a few deep breaths. It is going to be all right. So basically what I see here is that there is a need to restructure. There is a need to rebrand. There is a need for a new and different way of life because the way that you're living right now, or the way that you are living right now in whatever aspect of your life, that's not working out for you, okay? The Tower is talking about how this is the need for restructure. This is time for something new. It's time for a new beginning. It's time for the faulty foundation to fall apart so that you can build a new and stronger one, okay? This isn't as bad as it seems. I promise you it's not. It's time for something new. It's time for something different, and you might have been resisting that for a while, but it's time. It's time to release the old. It's time to release old burdens, old obligations, old responsibilities, old things that you just don't need. The Ten of Wands reversed, again, releasing. This is releasing. If you have been holding on to responsibilities, or, you know, if you have been taking on the burdens of other people, if you have been taking on the obligations or responsibilities of other people, this Aries moon is definitely the time to let go of that and to worry about yourself, because this is telling me that you have been losing sight of your own vision, of your own goals, of your own aspirations and dreams, because you've been focusing so much on other people. It's the thing that you do. Rather than focusing on your own growth and improvement, you tend to focus on other people because it's easier to play with their lives rather than your own. It's easier to handle other people's problems or situations rather than handling your own. And so that's why we have the Tower here, because that is the faulty thing that needs to stop. That is the faulty thing that needs to go down the drain. It's time to let go of things that don't belong to you, that things that you don't need to be focusing on, and rebuild something that you do need to focus on. You know, shift your perspective, shift your vision, your eyesight to the things that actually matter to you rather than the things that are other people's responsibilities or worries or concerns. It's not up to you to try to fix everyone else's life. It's up to you to fix your own life, and that's that. It's time for you to just stop avoiding.
the reality of a situation. It's time for you to follow your own path again, Pisces. It's that time. It's the time to let go of anything that just doesn't serve you. Let go of anything or anyone who doesn't do you any good, or that don't do you any good, you know? Let go of any burdens that you have on your shoulders. If you feel like the world is on your shoulders, if you feel like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, let go of it, because it's not up to you to carry. This is not a weight for you to carry. This is a weight that only the universe can carry. Don't try to do the universe's job. Do your job and live your life and follow your own path. That's it. That's all you have to do, my love. Don't try to do the universe's work. Because by doing that, you end up making yourself a martyr. Or you end up suffering a lot more for other people. And it's not worth it. It's really not. And that's why things are falling apart. That's why you're dropping everything. Right? That's why everything is just falling. Because it's not up to you to carry. And I feel like you might have been in denial and trying to rationalize, like, no, I have to carry this. I have to do this. I have to do this for other people. Whatever it is. No. That's why it's falling apart. It's a blessing in disguise, really. Because what this is doing for you is giving you a clean slate. This is giving you a clear slate to start new, to do something different, to focus on yourself, rather than focusing on things that ultimately shouldn't matter to you. And this isn't to say that you shouldn't worry about other people, but other people's concerns should not be your own concern unless it directly impacts you in some way. Okay? Don't do things for the sake of trying to seem godly or trying to feel like, I don't know, like, how do I explain this? Just don't do the martyr thing, you know? That's something that, that's something that Pisces in general just have to work on in their lives. It's just don't do the martyr thing. Or like being the victim, or suffering for the sake of others, because no one is telling you to do all of this for you. No one is telling you to carry all of these burdens for them, unless they're like actually taking advantage of you, in which case you need to set your boundaries. But no one is asking you to suffer for them. No one is asking you to do all of this for them. It's you taking on other people's problems in hopes to heal them, which in hopes to heal yourself, and that's just not going to work. It's not. It's really not going to work for you. So focus on yourself, my love. Focus on your own needs and obligations and responsibilities, rather than taking on more than you can handle, that are in relation to other people. So that is what I have for you, my Pisces, my loves. I love you. You gotta stop doing that. But yeah, if this resonates with you, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear any feedback that you have. I would like to hear. And let's see. Hit the thumbs up if you liked the video. Share with your friends, family, loved ones. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to know when I upload my videos. If you want further insight into how this full moon could affect you, go to Sinfulpluto.com to book a reading with me. And if you want to find me on social media, you can do so on Twitter and Instagram. At Sinfulpluto. So with that being said, my loves, I hope that you have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are. Oh, I got the hiccups again. Jesus, this is the second time I got them today. But anyways, I love you, and I'll talk to you soon.